So, today we're going to talk about how to stop overthinking and get out of your head. I know so many women I work with, feel like their brains are constantly on, all the tabs are open, they can't stop overthinking. They're very good at getting things done and checking all the boxes, but they have a very hard time relaxing. And I want to talk about why so many times this is elusive to people. And they might read a lot of self-help books, they might know all the right things they should think. They probably have, a strong faith, a good work ethic, they're determined, they have good practices, they take care of their body, and yet they can't figure out how to get out of their head. So I'm going to talk about that today. My name is Rochelle, and I've been a complex trauma therapist for over 25 plus years, and I now have a transformational 90-day program, Joyful and Present, where I help women do just this, break free from chronic stress and overwhelm. So you're going to want to listen to this if you've had a hard time getting out of your head and yet can't feel at ease and safe in your body. So nervous system regulation, dysregulation is behind this. So when we are in high stress, and a lot of people don't even know that they're living at a high stress because they're just the kind of people that get things done. And what they don't realize is that this fast fire of the brain is actually high beta brain waves, part of fight or flight. And this can often look like constant pleasing and performance mode. So I, do things well, take care of things for other people, am all things to everyone, and always in motion, have a hard time really being still. So they might say I'm things like I'm type A, or I'm just really driven, or I'm just a perfectionist. But really that high state of performance mode keeps them stuck in up here in their head, not able to think, not able to calm the thoughts, the thinking about what should come next or what should I have done before. And so a lot of people will use their reasoning brain to try to get out of overthinking. What are the things I should be thinking differently? They'll say, I just can't shut my mind off, and they're trying to use willpower or reasoning or positive affirmations to just think about things differently. And I want to talk about why it's so important to understand that we do not have to go into all the details of the past to know that our nervous system imprint from our past actually is playing out in our present, and that we can always change that with the right strategies. So when someone is stuck in performance mode, overthinking, hypervigilance, usually this is because at one point in life, either through conditioning or through response to trauma, it was very helpful for them. So maybe as a child, they didn't have any help with big emotions, but they learned that when they got good grades or when that they were making other people happy, that it just felt better and they felt more in control. Or maybe there was a crisis in the family and they became the go-to person that was making everybody happy. Or maybe, they just learned early on that achievement got a lot of praise. And so whatever we do early on kind of gets wired in. A lot of times people will go to therapy. I've been a therapist for many, many years, and I know I help people do this, recognize where these patterns come from. What's really important to understand is that it's not enough to recognize where they come from, and that we don't have to spend time and time again going into the past. Right? This is so important. We don't need to go into all the details of the past to relieve the imprint of it. So if someone became a person that made everybody happy, or became a person who was always in achievement mode, always looking for the next thing to happen, or who can I please, or what can I be doing, or developed a very perfectionistic way of interfacing with the world because it got them approval and safety and a sense of control, or it gave them a sense of worth. We don't have to keep going into the story of why that's so. What we really need to understand is, how is that playing out now? What are the nervous system response patterns? What are the beliefs? And what are the emotional ties to that state? So it's not what do I achieve when I'm doing, but what feeling state do I get when I'm making everyone happy, when I'm constantly achieving? How do I feel when I have everything figured out? So I'm thinking to prevent anything from going wrong, and thinking about all the things that I need to get done, or feeling guilty. And we look at that state, that current bundle that is the nervous system, how it's firing. And that firing of that stress response includes body sensations, cognitions, and emotions. And once people can be helped to actually move through the emotions, they no longer have to stay in overdrive to avoid the emotion. So just let that sink in for a minute, that our overdrive and constant stress is often a way of avoiding emotions that cause us to feel out of control or stored survival stress. Once we can relieve that stored survival stress and actually be able to move through emotions with confidence, we are going to be able to bring that stress level down. Now, we also have to do a lot of things that work bottom up, like working through the body and through the nervous system to get to a place of stillness. But understanding that we can't outthink a mind that is too busy is super important, because that can relieve us of the constant need to feel like we need to figure it out, or know more, or read more, or hear more, or listen more, or talk more, right? We're not going to use those reasoning capacities to get out of it. The first step is to be able to move through the body. That's where the emotions are stored. Once we can effectively calm through working through the body, then we can release those old programs that keep us stuck in fight or flight, perfectionistic tendencies, overthinking, rumination, all of that. So I hope this is helpful. Click the button to subscribe if you want to understand more. There's also a link to a masterclass, a free masterclass that I have, that I describe the underlying cause of overwhelm and my proprietary process, my 3-step approach to helping women break free from that in my 90-day joyful and present transformation. So if that interests you, if that's you, if you want to understand more about this, click the link below to watch my masterclass, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for listening.